Pokémon Horizons episode 99 has just aired, bringing us just one episode away from hitting that triple-digit milestone. And damn, did this one hit us right in the feels. Why was there so many moments clearly designed to make us tear up? And honestly, they succeeded for a lot of fans. This was an Ola-focused episode as our heroes head to Gala in the hopes of recruiting their mechanic girl and flying the Brave Asagi ship once again. But was it actually any good? What were the best and worst moments? And most importantly, how did the community react to this episode? I've got all the details you need, so let's jump right in. Episode 99 begins with our gang arriving in the Gala region. O is immediately shown struggling with seasickness, adding a light moment to the start. We then cut to the focus of the episode, Ola, who is deeply engrossed in her mechanical work, though her expression reveals a lingering sadness. Ola soon arrives at her workplace, which turns out to be Kana's Pokeball factory. Kana is a returning character whom the Rising Volt tacklers met before the time skip. She specializes in crafting Pokeballs and has clearly remained close to Ola. After Kana clumsily falls into a crate, she runs to Ola about how she's being rushed with a new order, thus asking to create an obscure Pokeball that only has side parts. Now, you're probably wondering, what could that be? Well, if you know what's going on in the current arc, you'll have a hunch to know what it is. But to those of you who don't know, don't worry, because it will be revealed later on. Kana tells Ola that lately she's been saying some pretty dull things, but Ola brushes it off without realizing it. Suddenly, the doorbell to the factory rings. Kana rushes over to see who it is, and it's our heroes. They happily greet Kana and Ola after so long. Ola is visibly shocked to see how much everyone has grown since they last met. My boy Roy was so small and now he's literally the tallest one there. And then Ola goes to greet O. This guy, man. My boy O is all the way back in a bush far away and says hi to Ola and Kana from a distance. Bro, I'm telling you, this guy hates women. We don't know why, but it's just so hilarious to see. I've never seen someone so afraid of them like him. But after the heartwarming reunion, we dive into the real meat of the episode. Roy explains to Ola the current situation involving the explorers and Lacrum's growing influence around the world. He believes that if they investigate further, they can uncover the truth and clear the name of the Rising Volt tacklers. But Liko says that time is running out. They need to gather as much evidence as possible. So the group urgently pleads with Ola to build them an airship. That's when Ola looks at Roy, and we get a big confirmation. Ola sees Freed in Roy. Alright. It was pretty clear to many fans that Roy's new design was inspired by Freed. Even the way he's matured and carries himself reflects Freed's influence, especially with Roy being the one to lead the return of the Rising Volt tacklers, much like the former leader. So, it's really exciting to finally get a proper confirmation of what fans have been suspecting all along. However, Ola suddenly breaks down and refuses to build the group a ship, then rushes off without explanation. Oh, clearly frustrated, snaps, "What was that? Why did she leave just like that?" Classic O. He can be so impulsive sometimes, but it's still great to see one of these familiar character tropes return to the spotlight. Because come on man, I needed my Beyblade-like classic anime shonen protagonist. Suddenly, Cap senses something in the distance and the group decide to follow after. O's about to follow too, but accidentally drinks Sinner's tea, causing Bro to be unwell. Well, that's Horizon's way of removing O for the time being. Our heroes head through the forest and manage to find a surprise. The Brave Asagi ship is still alive and kicking. Even crazier, the Pokemon who normally live in the ship still live on the ship. Man, this was so wholesome. It's so glad to see that everyone's still here. Kana arrives and explains to the group that Ola dropped off the ship here and asked to work with her after the Rising Volt tacklers disbanded. However, Kana noticed that Ola seemed very sad ever since, and she wonders why Ola doesn't go on another big adventure with everyone. Roy asks why don't they just all go on a big adventure again, but Kana gently says they can't force Ola to come around. She's likely hiding her true feelings and it's not something she'll be able to express easily. They report their findings to O and say they'll try ask Ola the next day. So O's like, "Right lads, I'm off." The next day, Ola is back at work. Kana wonders why she won't at least go hear what Liko and the others have to say. They came all this way after all. But Ola insists she wants to focus on her work and finish it by the end of the day. Kana, concerned, tells her that she's pushing herself too hard and she doesn't need to overwork. She gently suggests that Ola should take a break and get some fresh air, so Ola heads out. This was the moment that really hit fans. Ola has a flashback all the way to her younger days, back when she and Fried started the Rising Voltaculars, leading up to the moment of his death. But just as the emotion wells up, she quickly stops herself from crying. Her little L kid gently checks on her to see if she's okay. Man, this one hit really hard. Out of everyone, Ola seems to be the one that suffered the most from Fried's death. He was her best friend, and you can only imagine how difficult it must have been to process that kind of loss, even after a year later. We all feel so bad for her. Ola arrives at the airship where the heroes are waiting. Liko starts by apologizing for entering the Brave Asagi without permission, but while they're on board, they notice something important. Despite being left unused, the ship's machinery hasn't rusted or broken down. That means someone has been maintaining it this whole time, and it's clear that Ola has spent the entire year carefully looking after the Brave Asagi. The group tells her that they're not trying to pressure her into using the ship, but if she ever wants to, they'd be honored to have her join them. But Ola suddenly snaps. That's enough. The Brave Asagi was built because Fried asked for it, but Fried is gone. He's not coming back, so it's all over. That's when Cap runs into the ship and Liko says, I can't believe Fried is really gone. It's been a year since then, and now with Roy and Dot, we've reformed the Rising Voltaculars, taken the first step again, and we've even gone on these adventures. I feel it. Fried would have chosen the same path. Fried wouldn't have ignored the Lacuum. He would have chosen to fulfill his promise to Lucius to reclaim the truth of the Rising Voltaculars. That's why I believe that Fried is still with us, right by our side, and it feels like we're still adventuring together. Oh man, Liko. Damn! Ola looks back at the ship to see Cap sitting on the steering wheel, just like he used to with Fried. And bro, Ola was about to cry. The OST was hitting too. What an emotional and powerful scene that was. Ola says, I kept dwelling on the past. I never felt that way before. It was because I was the one who was stuck. But now I... Just then, a massive explosion rocks the factory in the distance. Roy immediately turns to Ola and says, let's go check it out. Ola starts to move, but suddenly stops, asking in a trembling voice, Why? Why can't I move my legs? Her vision begins to blur. It's a heartbreaking moment, one that strongly suggests Ola is experiencing trauma or even PTSD from Fried's death. It's hit her like a truck. You can really feel the weight of everything she's been carrying. Fans everywhere have been in tears for her. Pokémon Horizons is truly on another level when it comes to writing. It doesn't hold back from exploring deep emotional struggles. Luckily, however, her Metagross and L-Kid come to her aid and help her fly there. W Pokémon. At the factory, O is protecting Kana and a crate from two men when the rest of the group arrives. O urges them to check what's inside. Sure enough, they discover a stash of strong fears, and it's revealed that Kana and Ola were the ones who originally created them. Yeah man, that's crazy. Roy and Liko quickly explain that the strong fears use Lacuum, a substance that causes harmful effects on Pokemon. It can forcibly power them up against their will, but at a cost of causing them real pain. The two men are revealed to be from Exceed and say they've conducted safety tests and there haven't been any problems. But Kana shuts them down real quick, stating that she's cancelling the order. Anything that harms trainers and Pokemon is something she can't support. The Exceed workers are left in real shock, as poor guys, they're just trying to do their job without any ill intent. But the people who do have ill intent suddenly appear. Two new characters, revealing themselves to be new members of the Explorers. They claim that what Liko and Roy has said is misinformation, insisting that the strong fears are extremely useful to trainers. They also state that the Explorers who protect the world's order guarantee their safety. When they learn that the ones who oppose the use of strong fears are Liko and Roy, the new Explorers declare that they will take care of them. They unleash a Blaze Breed and Orca Breed Paldean Tauros. And as you can see, the trainer design reflect their Pokemon. The new Explorers members use their strong fizz mechanics to boost their Pokemon, leading this episode to a painful cliffhanger. Man, just when it was getting to the good part. One episode this was, but was it actually any good? Episode 99 did a great job of showing emotional suffering of one character, Ola. She's really been through a lot during the whole year without Fried around. As a first parter, it did a tremendous job of focusing on that, making it a truly great episode. In my opinion, the best moment of this episode was when Liko explained to Orla that they're following the path Freed would have taken, stopping the Lacrium issue and clearing the name of the Rising Volt tacklers. That moment definitely opened Orla's eyes, showing her that it's okay to be sad, but she must continue carrying on the dreams and hopes of her deceased friend. It was a very powerful speech from Liko. As for the worst moments of this episode, some people might point to old scenes. In today's episode, he was quite impulsive, especially when it came to the sensitive subject of Orla breaking down and rushing off. But in his defense, he doesn't fully understand what really happened. Another point, not exactly a worst moment, but the episode as a whole felt a bit slow. Not much happened until the very end. However, in my opinion, this slower pace was necessary. It gave Orla the time she needed to think, process, and come to terms with Freed's fate. This episode length reflected the inner journey perfectly. So personally, I don't think this episode had any truly worst moments. Which brings us to the curious question of, what was the community's reaction to this episode? Overall, the response has been very sympathetic. The majority of the fans loved this episode and were deeply moved, with many even brought to tears seeing the pain Orla went through after losing her best friend. Fans appreciated that the show took the time to focus on Orla's grief and regret over Freed's death, rather than pushing it aside for the next episode. Episode 99 storyline will continue in the big episode 100, titled We Are the Rising Volt Tacklers, which will in fact give us the conclusion to who will win this match, our heroes or the Explorers members. It will certainly not be a walk in the park. However, I want to hear what you have to say. Let me know your thoughts on episode 99. Did you enjoy it or dislike it? What are your opinions on how they handled Orla's return? I'd love to hear them. Thanks for watching, and if you enjoyed, be sure to like and subscribe for more Horizons videos like this one. I'll see you in the next one. Take care.